The James Show Podcast.
You know, I may have a little bit of a different take than a lot of people on the Cowboy game last night. And that's where I'm starting. You're like, well, isn't this a news talk station? Well, look, I'm not going to talk about the sports. I'm not going to talk about the X's and O's. I'm not going to talk about CeeDee Lamb dropping some passes or anyone spitting or anything like that. I am going to talk about something that kind of broke my heart before the game even started. And I really... Is this the right word? I think what I'm trying to say is I really despise the fact that there's an attempt to make a black national anthem. This isn't a real thing. This didn't exist when you were a kid. This is something that's been dreamt up here in the last few years when we decided that we were going to defund the police and everyone's literally Hitler and all kinds of other crazy stuff that's now being thrown out the window. And just like Cracker Barrel can change their mind, can't we change our mind on this stupid idea of a black national anthem? I think it should bother everyone this much. Do we need a black national anthem? Isn't the national anthem supposed to be like a symbol of unity, something that brings us all together? Isn't this like the opposite of what an anthem's supposed to be? You don't have an anthem and then have a sub-anthem for subgroups within the umbrella of the original anthem. Does the national anthem not apply to black people anymore? I thought they already had an anthem. It was called the national anthem. It's called the Star-Spangled Banner. And I hate that it's intentionally divisive. It is intentionally dividing people based solely on their race, based solely on the color of their skin. And I'm not going to pretend like it's okay for people to think that race is your defining characteristic of an individual in an Enlightenment liberal democracy, lowercase L. We're talking statecraft, not politics. But I want to live in a society where your race isn't your defining characteristic. Oh, what song do I stand to and cover my heart on? I don't know. Check your skin tone. That sounds racist to even have this, to even suggest this. Sounds racist. Why would they need it? Are they some other? Are we not, the same species? Good Lord, why do they need it? Are they not Americans? Are we not in the same country? This is the national anthem. And it doesn't matter what skin tone you have, even if you're translucent. It's the anthem. You already have one. It's the Star-Spangled Banner. I don't want to be segregated. I don't want black people to think I don't want them on their team. You're on my team, black Americans. I feel more in common with you than most of the people on the planet who share my skin tone. I don't feel any sort of connection to like European Americans. I don't ever want to hype up how my ancestry is European. I like you better than Europeans, and you like me better than anyone you know in Africa or anyone you would meet. You have more in common with me than you do anyone in Africa. If you had to get on a plane, if I had to get on a plane ride with some dude from, I don't know, like a Poland or even like someone who spoke English, like in Ireland. I mean, it would be cool and be novel. Hey, what's the differences? What does McDonald's look like over there? But he doesn't know about the Micah Parsons trade. He can't talk about some of these other American TV shows and music and culture and locations and experiences. 9/11 means something different to that guy than it does to you and me. We shared that. We've shared our history. We also have seen that if you stop segregating us out and you just let the melting pot happen, we have things that other countries can't have. There can't be a Patrick Mahomes in Poland. Poland's 98% white. They can't have the mix. We have this whole class of like mix that you can see the melting coming together. There's a lot of your friends who are half Hispanic, half white. I'm like a fourth Hispanic, 3/4 white. I have an uncle who's half and half. You have friends who have intermarried. I have a friend who's married to an Indian immigrant. You see J.D. Vance marrying an Indian immigrant and having half and half kids. You're seeing a beautiful mixing. And if they would just get out of the way and look at what wokeism does. Take something that's already organically happening, the mixing and the taking of all these disparate ancestries and traditions and coming up with something new. And it's uniquely American. And you're trying to re-cleave us back apart. What is the deal with the left wing of this country that's always trying to split us apart? You were the party of segregation. You were the party to make us eat in different dining halls. You can't sit at the Woolworth lunch counter. You have to go take a poop in a different bathroom. Like that even matters. And here you are. No. Let's keep separating the races. Now they get a different song. Stop separating us, left. I don't want to be separated. Maybe I like my black neighbors. Maybe I see them as teammates in this whole endeavor we call humanity. And it breaks my heart because sports is one of the things that everyone, when you're in the moment, it gets tied together. When you were at the Cowboy Stadium, well, I guess they was in Philadelphia last night. But if you're at a football game and your team gets a touchdown, and you look to your right or your left, and there's another guy, and he's wearing a cowboy shirt, and you're both cheering, and you high five, do you even care what the race of the dude is? Does it even factor into your head that, hey, look, I'm actually getting along with this disparate other? No, it's just your neighbor. We grew up together. We share a history. Not all of it's perfect, but it's getting better every day. And if I'm sorry, you don't feel comfortable enough in this country, or some of you don't feel comfortable enough in this country. I don't even think this is being driven by black people. I think this is being driven by affluent white liberals. What are they called? The awfuls? Affluent white female urban liberals. Awful. You ever heard that spelled out before? Where did I learn that? No, but black people, we love you here. We want you part of the country. We want you to recognize that this isn't some place that treats you as some disparate other. Where on earth are black people doing better? Is there any place at any point in human history where black people have had more safety, security, prosperity, wealth, human rights, a higher standard of living than America 2025? It doesn't exist. They're part of this country just as much as I am. We should share an anthem. It doesn't bring us together. It doesn't help the country. I don't want to balkanize this country into a bunch of little sub-states that are constantly biting at each other's back. I don't find it very unifying. I find it to be sort of antithetical to what an anthem's supposed to be. This is supposed to be a song that we all rally around and we hold in the same tradition. It's just part of our shared experience, our shared culture, our shared nation. And some people, it just feels so racist. What are they so different we can't have the same song? I disagree. 800-288-9227. This is Margaret in Fort Worth. You're on WBAP.
Hi.
Hi, Margaret.
Well, I agree with you because it is very divisive, and on top of that, this is America. This is not no foreign country to where they want to divide people. This is America, and we all are joined together. We are considered a melting pot, and it's wrong for even have the idea of being separated, having their own anthem. Really?
It sounds so like opposite of what the real world is supposed to be, because they're telling you that we're the racist ones. We're the ones that are hung up on race, and we're always bigoted in all our policies, whether it's getting rid of Obamacare or trying to get rid of the Department of Education. That's always race. They see race in everything, but who's the one that's trying to give them a different song?
Good question.
Yeah, awfuls.
I think it's the left.
Well, absolutely. No one on the right is pushing for this. You can't turn on Fox News or Talk Radio Today and have one right-wing talk show host is like, yeah, I like the fact that they've got a different song. We should get a different song for the Mexicans next. No one is saying that in talk radio.
Right.
They might be saying that behind closed doors at NPR. You don't know. Is that what they're going to do? Or is the Mexican national anthem, is that already, I think that's Despacito. Isn't that? I'm kidding.
Well, the Mexican anthem should be in Mexico.
Well, the Mexican national anthem, right. The Mexican American anthem, but I feel like whoever wants this to happen is intentionally sort of trying to cleave us apart. And whatever their intention is, I don't like it. If it's for political reasons, if it's like an awful, like a affluent white female that's trying to do this because, she wants to prove how woke she is, I don't like that. If it's a blacktivist doing it so he can keep the community riled up and under his wing, I don't like that. Whatever your excuse for doing this is, I don't like it. We need to get rid of that. We have one anthem. And look, and if you don't like the anthem, hey, maybe we pick a new song. But we're going to have, or we should just have one anthem, or this country starts cleaving apart. It starts. This is what happens to countries. Is Rome still one country, or did they all say, well, we're going to keep our own different traditions and we're just going to balkanize and break up into all these other little countries and whatnot? And
right.
Some people just want to do that, I think. I don't know if they are intentionally trying to tear this down, but it seems like they are. Thank you very much. That's a great call. That's Margaret in Fort Worth getting us started with good calls. We'll stick with the phones. This is David in Bedford. Hello, David. You're on WBAP.
Hello, James. Hey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Very good. James, I was just listening to you a minute ago, and that irks me too. It irks a lot of people, and I'm sure President Trump is aware of it and maybe trying to figure out a way to stop that. But there has to be a way legally. in this country. There's a lot of things you can't do if you're connected to the federal government in any way. But a lot of these businesses, like NFL football, other corporations, companies that have tied themselves to tax deferments and lower taxes based upon building these structures and whatnot, are tied to the federal government in some form.
No, I know where you're going, and I don't like it. And I don't like it. And I'll tell you why. The solution should look like what just happened to Cracker Barrel, where there's an outrage in the court of public opinion. It makes it well known that is not a popular decision, and the NFL, just like Cracker Barrel, interested in PR and profits, will do the right thing if we just raise a big enough of a fuss.
Well, can the people in the stadium just band together and start booing?
I love that idea. That's the solution, David. You don't go hire some lawyers and make a lawsuit and force the other side to not play the Black National Anthem. You make it so unpopular and so ugly and universally known that that's the despised practice that they voluntarily withdraw it.
Something else the fans could do is stand up in unison and turn their backs to those that are singing it.
Damn, David, why didn't I think of this? All right. Now that's a good call. David in Bedford, 7 points, Garrett. He gets...
That's a good one.
No, that's two good ideas. How about that? We do the David in Bedford rule. If you are ever presented with the Black National Anthem, turn your back. And it's not because we're disrespecting our black neighbors. It's because we see them as on our same team, and I don't want them to be segregated from us. I don't like the idea of segregation. I thought it was ugly when the Democrats did it last time. Maybe
there needs to be some T-shirts that'll put out that you can wear. It says, turn your back. Turn your back.
All right, well, keep cranking out the good ideas. That's David in Bedford, nailing it. And that's how you fix it. We don't need a government solution. We don't need a legal solution. We don't need a lawyer sending someone a cease and desist. We just need everyone to speak up and be like, this is distasteful and I don't like it. Philip and Temple, you're on WBAP.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a point on it. When you were talking about having this discussion, it came to my mind that where do these ideas originate? They're not grassroots. They don't rise up. They're being messaging.
Academia. Academia is where they come from.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, what do you think the black community dream is to follow these things? As you said, it's not bringing us together. It's not making them more American. It's making them. It's separating us. As you said, that's really the whole thing. It divides us, and maybe that's what academia and stuff wants. They might be the ones who don't want to integrate.
Well, the part of academia that's inherently big government, inherently, they don't. Half of them don't even realize that they're following the Marxist playbook, but they are, and that's the incubator for all these terrible ideas. Whether it's gender theory, whether it's critical race theory, whether it's socialism, and they're the flat earthers of economics. And now we have separate national anthems and separate dorm rooms and bathrooms and safe spaces and trigger warnings. All academia, all. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Does anybody like the idea of having a segregated national anthem? Call in. I find it absolutely contemptible that this is being attempted. And I'm shocked that someone could go to the NFL and be like, hey, we should do the Black National Anthem before the regular national anthem. And the NFL said, okay, that bothers me. That needs to stop. We need to Cracker Barrel these people. We need to Bud Light these people until they stop. I don't want blacks having their own anthem. We're one country, damn it. We're all Americans. Can we just all be Americans, at least at a football game? Hey, Black America, did you grow up playing football? I did. We played together. Have you ever played one game of cricket in your entire life? Yeah, neither have I. We have more in common than I have with Europeans. We have more in common than you have with Africans. We are a thing now. We are not determined by our skin color or our parents' past. We are a new thing. It's called American. And we don't all look alike. And that's okay. And I know that's not the norm for other countries, but we're making a new thing. Let's just have one song. This is Scott in Fort Worth. You're on WBAP. What's up, Scott?
James, I completely agree with you. My question is, every 4 years we have the Olympics, and once one of our athletes takes the podium and has a gold medal around their neck, which anthem is going to be played and whose decision is it to play what anthem? I'll hang up and listen.
Well, it better just be one anthem. And I'm going to raise hell if they start segregating out anthems. Oh, we have to have a different anthem for every race now? It's ugly stuff. I don't even like when you were a kid and someone told you that there used to be segregation. Segregation, what does that mean? Well, the blacks had to sit in a different part of the bus and they had to go to the bathroom in a different room and they had to use different water fountains. Wasn't the first question in your head, what the hell's that for? What does that even matter? That's how I feel about this. What would they need a different song? What, because they're darker? Dumb. That is racist. People, get race out of your minds. The color of someone's skin is not the determining factor on who they are. Casey and McKinney, you're on WBAP.
Yeah, hey, thanks for taking my call. So when was the national anthem created? When was that created? Do we know?
Well, we know Francis Scott Key wrote the poem that became the national anthem during the War of 1812 when the...
Okay, so back then, if you were an American, whether your skin color was black, Asian, Indian, it didn't matter. When you came to America, we're all Americans. We don't need to segregate any anthem based on people's color, just like you talked about. We're all American. There's one national anthem. And people, I don't think people need to get over it. It's just that's who we are. We're all Americans. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, where you came from. If you came over legally, that's us. You're one of us. You're American. And that's our anthem.
You don't have to convince me. I don't have to convince you. This isn't a Team Red issue. This is something that's only being pushed by the adherents of Team Blue.
Yes, that's right.
Well, they just love segregation. This is like as we were having this discussion yesterday. They're still racist. It's a more benevolent form of racism for sure, but they still can't stop segregating people. They're the ones who want they should have the whole black dorm at the University of Connecticut, or we should have a black student union, or we should have the National Association of Black Journalists. Dude, it's hilarious. They had a convention in my industry where all the national associations of whatever journalists got together, except for me. I couldn't go to this. It was like the National Association of Black Journalists, National Association of Hispanic Journalists, and now there's the National Association of Asian American and Pacific Islander Journalists or whatever. It's like everybody but you is invited, James. Everybody. They have women in radio, or they have National Association of Women Broadcast. No, but Parker, no, not you. Not you. It's comical, these people. Kevin in Dallas, you're on WBAP.
Yeah, hey, appreciate it, James. Indeed, I was calling to talk about that as well. And I was going to say it's perspective on a culture for most people classified as Black Americans. Because as the gentleman said before, that it's a historical song of precedent because it was first celebrated after it was written, James Weldon Johnson, to honor Lincoln and his birthday in that regard, and then to talk also about the hope and the struggle and of freedom for citizens of color, right? And that was combined, of course, with people who were all American citizens, blacks and whites, during that era and that time. And so throughout history, it's been heralded as a song that celebrates the pride and the excellence and the honor that people have in the spirit of liberty and the work ethic that comes along with that. So, and I agree with you that there's only one American anthem, and there should be one American anthem. But traditionally, that song has been used for that, and it's still is sung among many of the black colleges, historically black colleges in that regard. And so it had its main prominence during a time of segregation, as you just mentioned, during the years of Jim Crow, colored water fountains, and on in that regard. So that's the nature of the song. So,
yeah, that doesn't make it much better. Just to be fair, I don't care what the merits of the song are. I would still be against it, even if it was lifted from a passage in the Bible. I would still say we need one anthem, and the black people don't need their own anthem. But the way you describe it, it makes it sound even worse. It's like, hey, let's not forget this song that we used to sing when we were being oppressed, and this was used by the people who were trying to break us out of the oppression. We need this constant reminder that does that bring us together? Like all these civil rights monuments that are in downtown Dallas that I have to walk past to go get a sandwich. I have to walk past 8 monuments to talk about how evil white people are. Does that really bring us together, or is that a constant reminder on how some people used to be evil to other people in this country, and we don't want you to forget it? That doesn't sound like a very unifying proposition.
Well, no, I was pointing out the historical
merits of the song.
Right. Right. And so, and I'm saying that you can look at it that way, right? All perspective, right? People, and that's what I'm saying is that if you look at it that way, then it's going to be a divisive thing. And we know that the Democrat Party, unfortunately, is using it as a divisive tool. It's not a divisive tool because its words are about liberty. It's about hope. It's about freedom.
Well, the thing that makes it divisive is when they supplant the national anthem with it. It's not the song itself. And good stuff, Kevin. I didn't know that level of depth on the background of the song, so you added a lot to the show.
The James Show Podcast.